from the podcast, Grant's Rants Hollywood Talk. It's Grant's Rants Small Talk. Real Housewives of New York City Rundown.
Let the ranting begin. It's time to discuss The Real Housewives of New York City, Season 12, Episode 15. Sheer Madness is the name of this episode. And to run down RHONY with me, Megan O'Donnell is joining from the podcast Bravo Happy Hour. Good to hear from you.
Hey, Grant. It feels really good to be back, and especially to come back and talk about ladies from my favorite city and my hometown, New York City.
You're such a loyalist. So this, I can't believe it took 15 episodes, but you're here. So all is good.
That's all that matters.
This episode starts with a townhouse for rent, and there's a leak in the basement. And apparently Sonia is redoing the townhouse. Does she realize how much money is going to go into redoing a townhouse? They need budgets in the millions to do this type of construction.
I said this I feel like we always have the exact same perspectives on everything. That's why I love talking to you. But I said the exact same thing. She's like, I want everything to be white. I want everything to be glass. It's like, honey, this is a 6th-floor townhouse. That's going to cost so much money. Mark it down $1 million and just get rid of it.
Yep.
Get rid of it.
Move it.
It'll be someone else's problem. Just don't even bother. And also, you know, she's not going to redo the kitchen. She's going to redo random rooms. So it's going to be like one room is very modern, one is very old money, and then it's just going to look like a hodgepodge cluster. But when I see that townhouse, it sends shivers down my spine. Like, I always know. I'm like, ooh, the episode's going to be good if it starts there.
I've kind of gravitated more towards traditional, especially with construction like that. Like, not everything can be a white box with a fiddly fig in the corner. It's so tired. It's so overdone, and I'm exhausted from it. And I can understand. But when Sonia's looking at the carpets and she's talking about the rent, to me, it's like she's looking to go to Wayfair.com and buy the quickest thing she can find. It's more just for turnover than anything else. It's going to be full of cheap furniture. I don't see that she's really going to invest in this. And I think the minute she finds out the price just to carpet a staircase like that, and you said she's got 6 floors, do you know how expensive that is?
It's like strip the carpet, throw a new set of paint up on the walls, and remove all of the furniture. Someone will buy, period. Like, get a nice fresh coat of paint and get your crap out of there. And then I think you have a chance, Sonia. Poor little Sonia Rita.
I know. We only see what we see on the show. I mean, for all we know, there could be a smell of molds in the house. There could be creaky
there's
floors.
Worse smells.
Yeah.
I mean, all of those things.
There could be a lot of problems, things that Sonia might not even notice. Sometimes people don't even notice there's a stain on the ceiling, or, there's a big scratch, across a mirror. I don't know, but good luck. She's right back to where she was, in a total state of chaos, going up and down the flights of that house. Ramona is going to Scarpetta with, normally she'd go to do a walkthrough for her birthday. Normally she'd bring Luann and Dorinda, but, they're just, not up to snuff for this. They're not good enough. So instead she invites Leah, who all she's done is slam the last couple of weeks anyway. So apparently she's worthy of this. And Leah made me LOL. I'm telling you, she's saying, like, it's going to look like a MAGA rally. And I'm like, I know exactly what you mean.
She was spot on with that. And it's sad because that is Ramona's type of person. Those are the people she hangs out with. That Joe Farrell guy whose mansion they went to at the beginning of the season. He's like a big Trump supporter. Ramona is like, it just makes sense. It all makes sense. And I love how Leah just clocks her dead on.
Yep. Yeah. I love that. Because in the beginning, Leah was even we talked about it here, that she wrote for like a conservative magazine, and people were thinking that she was, super, super conservative. But it's interesting that she actually isn't. She's just kind of like more of a yang gang type person. So it's actually kind of more on the progressive angle, which is interesting because I didn't know really. Who knows where she lands? But now we get it, and I like a good bag of joke. I think we need to just loosen up a little bit. I can't take any more seriousness. So thank you, RHONY, for bringing the political humor. Luann is at the Fortune Society. I thought she was going to be doing the soup kitchen shtick again. I thought we were going to have to watch
where
that.
She's like eating from the ladle. It's like, honey, no. That ladle goes right back in the soup, and now everybody has your Luann juices on their soup, which no one needs.
I felt bad because they're showing like this kitchen area with some seating and there are people eating. And this one man held up like a white piece of paper over his face. Did you catch this? And they were like blurred out faces. Yeah. These people did not want to be taped. They did not need Luann to waltz in there. And, you know, she put on some denim jeans as if to appear a woman of the planet, you know, a woman about town. Yeah. We don't need it.
Oh, I know. No. And also, you know, there's nothing more offensive to a group of people who have all been incarcerated for like some of them decades, for her to say like, yeah, I have 3 felonies, I threatened to kill a cop, I did X, Y, and Z, I did all of these really terrible things, and she's like, and I was in prison for a whopping evening, you know. And it's like like if a black man did any of the things that he did, he'd be shot and dead. Like we see it time and time again, and now it's so prevalent in our culture and to be having these kinds of conversations. So to be that seeing Luann come in and being like, can you believe it? And then I also snuck out of my handcuffs when I was in the back of the car.
Yeah. And I assaulted a police officer. Yeah. Yeah. It was a bad look then, because I actually, when I watched it, I looked at it as in the scope of like just when that was shot, because we had heard all these tales of survival of these other people. But yeah, compared to what we're working with now, the environment we're in, I mean, like, oh, it's bad look.
So she at least acknowledged at one point saying, like, you know, this is my minuscule story, and these people are talking about major, like, times of their lives that they were behind bars and couldn't see their family. So at least she did acknowledge at one point that, like, her experience, which was horrific in its own way for her and traumatic, obviously, regardless of whoever and whatever she did, at least she was able to say, like, okay, it wasn't as bad as, you know, like all of these people. And, you know, she turns her arrest into like a cabaret career and like a full touring act where all these people are like, oh no, we can't get jobs. Like, I can't vote. I can't, you know, get home loans. I can't get student loans because I was incarcerated. And she's like, not a problem. I actually had a amazing career boost when I got arrested. You know, which again, is rare.
She only failed up with that. Yeah, I mean, they're literally jokes. They're literally jokes in her act. I mean, whatever. I don't know. Truly, I wrote down such privilege. How lucky are they really? I mean, Luann and Sonia are sitting there. I thought it was inappropriate to record this. Now, I'm all for seeing their real lives. I'm so glad that we don't have to watch them at lunch. But I felt for the other people in the room. There are all these people in the room. They all have to sign releases. There's a camera crew in the room with lighting. And, you know, they're having to have these discussions. I think it made everybody look bad as far as like the show and the main cast here. You know, Luann's speech, while it was honest, it just played very melodramatic to me. And then she completely lost me when the solution was to have a spa day. I mean, that was like, oh, I forget it. This is as much of a joke as it appears. I thought it was going to be a real moment, but when a spa day, I mean, I know it's a nice thing, but whatever.
I know. It's like, you know, RHONY does something good. They're like, oh, wow, you know, we're going to highlight incarceration and give people a platform to talk about their stories. And they're like, yeah, but we're really only doing it so we can go to a spa. It's like, right.
Now, look here. What did you think of this Avery, Ramona, Mario dinner, hearing about Avery's birth and Mario's dating status? You know, I'll just give my take real quick. I appreciate it for those who are invested in Ramona and Mario from years back. It was nice. It wasn't, you know, all plot heavy. But I think, like, I don't know her, but it seems like Avery is like a Ramona Jr.
Oh, absolutely. Like, if you go back to season 1 and 2 of Housewives, of New York Housewives, you see like Avery wearing a pearl necklace at like age 6 and like looks like she is like a businesswoman with a little briefcase, like with like a bad attitude and like so embarrassed by her mom. And now I think she's just turned into like kind of like, a mini Ramona who is like very opinionated, very entitled. And I read in the news today that she like was yelling at a FedEx guy. I guess she's moving and she like went to FedEx to go get boxes and I guess started yelling at the FedEx guy because he like wasn't helping, and he's like, it's like not really my job to pack the box. I kind of just like sell it to you, and you do that. And she's evidently caused a stink at FedEx. So I need to do some research on that for my episode next week.
Oh wow.
The really hard hitting work I do.
Oh wow. Yeah, well, it's not a good look. Although I have gotten short with people at the UPS store, so I guess I know better. But
Sometimes you just can't help it.
Well, yeah, they do a lot of nickel and diming over there. So clearly this is not an advertisement for the UPS store. On the show, we return to Spa 88, and I can't believe that they went back to a location that had already appeared this season. That was very strange, but I love Leah and her sister because to me they're just such the odd women out on this show, especially the sister. For whatever reason, I know there's more to the story, but they don't like her. So I don't know what she's done to these women. Like it's like a mystery. Like what did she do?
I don't know. I think I can't really peg it. I think they just don't like outsiders. I think a lot of the ladies on RHONY are very territorial of the show and who's on the show and who runs the show. And I think they felt like, oh, if Sarah, that's her name, right? Sarah?
Yeah. If
Sarah keeps coming in, she might take a role on the show and then potentially push someone out. And I think the same thing was with Elise Slame. I feel like it was the same situation where once like Ramona started picking up on the fact that Elise kept getting invited to things and Elise started getting testimonials, Ramona was like, you're actually not my friend anymore. You're not my friend anymore. It's like, wait. She's been your friend for 20 years and now for no apparent reason you are not being her friend. Okay. I think someone's a little threatened about their position on the show and having someone else kind of potentially coming in.
Well, we see later in the episode just how entitled Miss Singer is in her position on this show. The role she thinks she has, which I didn't know she was a technical director, but who knew? She does have a emotional moment entering Scarpetta. She's not dressed yet for it, but we get this real phony entrance. She's fawning over the design. And to me, I don't know anything about Scarpetta. I have never been, but it looks to me like a banquet hall you'd find at a hotel. That's not an insult, but I mean, okay. I mean, the room they were in was nice. It was a private room, but it's not like they had tremendous views of the city or they were on the Hudson or, you know what I mean? It was like, okay, like, all right, there's a room with no windows and some lighting.
Great. Yeah, I don't know what the whole allure of that place was. Maybe like I guess she has like great memories there and maybe that's why, but yeah, there are a lot of really beautiful locations where you can have a party in Manhattan, especially if you have money and especially if you're going to be like giving it a lot of screen time and like keep talking about it constantly. Scarpetta.
Oh my God. She's getting that whole thing paid for from soup to nuts. I think she literally walked off the street and walked in. I don't think she wrote a check for not even a rose.
Well, yeah, at the end where she was like, can you believe it? Stephen Dan or whatever his name is, like, gave me the whole party for free. It's like, yeah, well, you're a grown-ass woman with, like, a ladder with licorice on it. Like, I don't know what kind of party
what
this is.
Was that? A ladder coming out of a London telephone booth?
Yeah. That is, like, so many just plot twists in one like visual. I'm like, wait, what? Like every time I looked, I was like, I don't get it.
Just when I thought I got the theme, I thought it was gonna be roses. Then there were these like white paper, like want to be birds of paradise around, and then in like a cheap, like I mean cheap, like this is something you could get at like the Office Max print shop. It says everyone goes to Ramona's living room. That's the theme.
The living room? Have it in your fucking living room if that's the theme.
What is that? Everyone goes to Ramona's living room. She said, because people come into my Hamptons house. I mean, that doesn't mean anything. I have no idea what the theme of this party was.
Not living room theme.
Other than the food, she should have got the party for free because I was unimpressed. I will say I was unimpressed. In the middle of the party, we learned that Sonia was thrown out of well, not yet, because there's other stuff, but at some point we learned that Sonia was thrown out of a Philadelphia gay bar. I looked into it. Apparently she grabbed the mic and the pianist wasn't too impressed. But I don't know. Who cares?
I feel like I potentially have been to that Philadelphia gay bar where they play show tunes. I'm like actually positive it must be the same one because they were really big sticklers there too. And yeah, like you come in
Really?
after a few drinks, you're trying to have some fun, and then you're like, whoa, 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 people are getting yelled at. Like this isn't fun. Granted, like
15
I'm not
minutes.
that big of a show tunes person, so half the songs I was like, next,
Yeah.
next. So I have a feeling Sonia probably just took my attitude to like the nth degree and got herself kicked out, which is pretty iconic.
Leah tells Dorinda and Elise that there's going to be a dress code at this birthday party. And so Dorinda could not get that memeable moment fast enough, running to try to get the panties or the, I don't know what they are, shorts and a bra, which, what's her face, Leah put on. But Elise, I'll give her some credit. She said she predicted that Ramona was going to wear red. And I don't know what Ramona was wearing, but it was something on the color wheel between pink and red. I have no idea.
Oh my god, I saw a meme online that said like it was like what Ramona thinks she looks like, and it was like a picture of her, and then it was like a picture of Veruca Salt, and it was like what she really looks like when she's like in that little red dress and she's screaming from Willy Wonka. I'm like, yep, that's about right.
That's great. I love it. Dorinda took this moment to get very pointed and call Ramona an unaccountable bitch, but she didn't call Ramona that. She told that to Elise, so big deal. But I just like when Dorinda gets fired up. I just, it was a great moment. Too. So Tanya arrives. Now I need to know more about Tanya. Ramona strikes me as an only child, so I can't imagine what it would be like to have Tanya in the picture, and who Tanya is. She says, stay young forever and never act our age. Well, other women behave that way, and it was frowned upon. So what is it?
I don't know. I always am so fascinated by Ramona's past and her childhood. We know she has this like abusive father, and I'm not really sure much about the mom, but if the dad was abusing the kids, I'm assuming he was abusing the mom, which means she potentially could have been like aloof with the kids and not really involved, and that could potentially explain why Ramona is like very independent in her own way, and kind of like doesn't take and is like wildly aggressive. But I want like a deep dive into Ramona's back life, which I'm like, as I write down for my own show, I'm like, Ramona Singer deep dive.
I need to know more about the sister. All we know is she's upstate. Like, okay, well, what else? I need to know more. Yeah. So what else happens here? Ramona just claims that she supports women. That theme, again, that very important theme of RHONY, apparently, allegedly.
Yeah.
So at least very important to Ramona when convenient. And Sonia's all hung up on the fact that friends of Ramona's have attended her baby shower of 19 years. I mean, this is really getting too much with the history and the past with Sonia. I mean, it was 19 years ago. I can't with that.
Well, that's the thing. She's like, she met them at my baby shower, and she met them through me. It's like, okay, well, that's like how friendships start. Right. And just because Sonia like potentially isn't keeping those friendships isn't Ramona's problem. Like, just because Sonia didn't foster quality relationships with those women doesn't mean anything about Ramona not being able to do that. So I can understand why. I think Sonia, again, like, is very much stuck in the past, and I don't think Sonia like takes accountability for any of her actions. Like, like there was like the rumors that she had like cheated on the husband, and then she was like, I can't believe he left me, and they were all like, well, no, you were fooling around on him. Like, that's what happens. And it's like, no, like if you don't put time into your girlfriends, they're not going to be your friends anymore, period. So just because you met them and you had this husband, you had this and you had this, you still have to work for the things you have and to keep them. Like, just because you had it once doesn't mean they'll be there forever. And I do think Ramona, warts and all, I think she's a pretty decent friend to her 51 friends. Like, I think like,
well, I don't think she is to Sonia. I don't think she is to Sonia.
Yeah. No, they're not. That ship has sailed. I think she just thinks like Sonia's a mess, which like she kind of is.
Yeah, the thing about Sonia is like, it's unfortunate she views Ramona as a better friend to her than Ramona views Sonia, and you've got the show involved, and I get it, but I love the moment. I could never relate more to Leah arriving, trying to say hello, greet the guest, guest of honor, didn't, went to the bar, and then later tried to make another attempt, and Ramona still barely gave her the time. This, and my sister who listens to this will laugh, this is very Cranston. This is very how I grew up. It's these women who have to look like they're so busy with their other friends, they'll never say hello, excuse me, until you knock them over the head. That's exactly the type of person Ramona is. She doesn't want to come. She's not going to come over. She's not going to come over. You have to make the effort.
She's such an asshole.
She really is.
And she'd be like, it's my birthday. It's my birthday. It's my birthday. It's my birthday. You have to do everything for me. Me. It's like, oh my God. Just say hi to your friend. Your friend who, like, a couple days before, you were like, you're going to protect me at my birthday if people come for me, right? Like, it's like, wait, remember that whole conversation we had the other day? Now you're ghosting me at your own party? What? Pick your lane, Ramona. Do you hate me or do you like me? Every episode, it's a different relationship between the two of them. It's so strange.
Were you offended by Leah's outfit choice?
No. Like, what grown-ass adult gives a dress code? Like, at a certain point, just don't tell people what to wear, period. Like, I think, it's just annoying.
Yeah, I think, like, Leah's, she's a little plain, but she looks fine. I mean, she was wearing a dress with a sewn-in bodysuit. She wasn't, like, just hanging out. And, I mean, this reminds me of, like, Britney Spears when everyone freaked out when she did the Oops, I Did It Again performance. And everyone was like, she's naked on stage. I mean, she's in a bodysuit, a skin tone. It's so stupid. I think it's so obvious. But, I mean, I don't have any problem with Leah, really. I'm becoming a big defender of hers, I guess. But and then, now we got to hear about Dorinda's idea to go to Mexico. It's always... They're not fooling anybody. These women are
kooky idea.
Yeah, it's like, hey guys, are you all available? Sure. We didn't sit down 3 months ago and plot out our schedule and leave this week open for a cast trip. And they always have to pretend they don't know where they're going. I have to believe at least half of them know.
Well, I think this season it could be potentially different because I feel like the past few seasons it's always been around Bethany's schedule and her custody schedule. So it was like I remember a couple seasons ago, like Kristen Takeman was like so mad that Bethany was like, well, I have to either come late or leave early, and all the ladies were like, we'll do anything you want, Bethany. We'll change everything for you, Bethany. We'll change everything. And now they're like, we all have literally zero responsibilities in our own lives other than like wearing a dress code, and maybe Luann has to like chat with her parole officer or something.
Don't
but like other
Sonia's
than that,
the chief creative
around.
Officer of Century 21 too, so she might have to give a notice on that.
Yeah, I wonder how it's been for her, working remotely, being like a big chief operating officer. Yeah. I wonder how that's been for her with the retail industry crashing.
Hopefully the townhouse is equipped with Wi-Fi because she's gonna need it.
Brown ice and Wi-Fi.
Ramona gives a big speech about the long journey she's had with everybody. Then she had to take a left turn. She says she felt so alone, quote, as a man, unquote, and that she doesn't use a dildo, but she will use her hand. It was like the most, like, she might as well have not bothered. It wasn't even that nice of a speech. It was, I don't know what the hell she was talking about, but I don't know. I have nothing else to say. I enjoyed this birthday party. There's a couple other things, though, but I want to get your thoughts. Go ahead.
I mean, I think she probably was like 2 vodka sodas deep at that point. I feel like anytime like a birthday girl does a birthday speech, it's always like, what are they gonna say? And trust me, like I've done a birthday speech,
like a Dorinda speech.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, unintelligible slur is just the definition of a Dorinda speech. But I mean, I don't know. I think Ramona every year is playing this game where she's like, I'm new, renewal. This is my coming out party. This is my new me party. This is the great transformation party.
Yeah, wasn't that supposed to be the theme?
Every 6 months, she's like, I'm coming out. It's like, I'm a new me. I've changed. Everything about me is different. It's like, honestly, you're the same exact person you were the minute you stepped on screen.
True.
You just aren't married anymore and you're dating, which is hard. So
in the middle of the party, we get this weird moment with Sonia, Luann, and Dorinda talking about how they're all scared. It's like, I don't know what they're trying to, I guess, offer a raft, as Dorinda put it, to Sonia. And then, as obnoxious as hell, Ramona comes over with this handbag, literally rubbing it in their faces. Like, it couldn't be more obnoxious.
Look at my gift, look at my gift, look at my gift, look at my gift, look at my bag, look at. It's like, oh my God, Sonia. I mean, oh my God, Ramona. Like,
The
no one cares.
party took a turn. Leah said it was the beginning of a MILF porn. We just see these women of a certain age. There's a shot of like their like sandals and high heels like on the dance floor. Like, we can't hear the music for licensing purposes, which I think is ridiculous. I would love to hear like a cover of Apple Bottom Jeans or whatever the name of that song is, and there's all these women like singing along, boots with the fur. I mean, it was an absolute S show. Ramona says there now at this point there's 100 women here, and Leah is dancing like a stripper. And I'm like, zoom out, because I don't really see. I don't even believe there were 50. Maybe there were 50 people in the room if you count the grip, the lighting guy, the camera guy, the person collecting the dirty cups. But Ramona calls for the producers, and Sonia gets up on top of that mirrored thing. I mean, it is just,
oh my God,
chaos.
her smashing that mirror tray with those heels, and she had like exposed toe shoes. Where the whole time I'm like, she's gonna get a shard in there, and she's so fucked up she won't even know she's bleeding for like 20 minutes until she slips on her blood on the dance floor. Like, there is just no taming these beasts. It was crazy. I need
more time of that, of Ramona running around trying to like find like where the video village is, and then just watching Leah just tear up the place. I need more time of that, because at the end, when the last shot, when Ramona looks at the camera, she said, "That's it, turn off the cameras." In the background, Sonia's standing behind her. So like we saw, it was clearly edited, but it still happened, and I want to know what happened in between, because it was so crazy. Even just cut to some shots of her, got 100, apparently there are 100 women. So cut to a shot of a few of them just to get their reactions. I'd love, got more than enough people there to get content from. So I loved it. I rewatched the last act a couple times. It was so good.
It's just so good. And even like the Bravo editors with the friend ticker, like just
crazy,
being so shady. Like, it is such great television. And
Final
last
thoughts.
couple episodes, I've been like going back and forth with RHONY this year. Of course, it's my favorite franchise, and I love all the ladies for all of their psychotic behavior and more. But it was getting a little sad for me watching Dorinda just getting so fucked up and having like another meltdown and yelling at Luann the last episode, and then Luann's freak out on Sonia over the cabaret. I was like, oh my God, this show is getting a little too much. And then this part just brought me back to life. I'm like, this is so good, and it's a really interesting thing that Bravo obviously had to show the freak out, Ramona's freak out. Like, how could you not? But the fact that like the party ended, she was like, everyone get the out. Like, party's over, filming is over. We're not doing this anymore. We are not doing this anymore. Was a really interesting play that she did, and I think I'm wondering if she'll face any repercussions from doing that, because this is like a cast event. Like,
right,
this is a work day at the end of the day. Like, of course it's your birthday party, but it's still, you're working, you're on the clock. And for Ramona to say, we're done, we're wrapping early, I wonder if the producers kind of slapped her on the hand after, or they probably were just like so terrified. They were like, everyone just stop filming this. She will go back crazy on all of us.
I was hoping that we'd see more like next week, at least, like people leaving or whatever, but it looks like they really did put the cameras down after that. Only because of some empty threat of her wanting to quit, which is like, you're under contract, you idiot, but whatever. My quick final thought is, I don't understand what the theme of this party was. We thought it was going to be a coming out party, then it was a coming out single party, then there were roses, paper plants, and apparently it's the theme is coming to Ramona's living room, which I mean, I would write a bad Yelp review for Steve and Dan now if that was the theme that someone created for me. So no, I'm actually very unimpressed by the party, and but I enjoyed the episode, so that's all that counts.
I mean, I'm glad he gave the party to her for free at the end of all of it. It's like, he's like, yeah, I didn't do my best work with the living room theme. This is all free.
Yeah.
was on acid when we decided that this was going to be the theme of your party, but it did not turn out as we would have liked.
No. Well, Megan, where can people find your podcast for even more Bravo goodness?
You can check out Bravo Happy Hour anywhere you listen to podcasts. It comes out on Tuesdays and Fridays. Tuesdays are bonus episodes where I talk about anything and anything I can potentially even think of when it comes to Bravo. And then Friday episodes are news episodes where I deep dive into all of the news stories of the week. We don't really recap the shows. Of course, if something comes up, the conversation is had. But we mainly focus on what's happening in the current times in the lives of our favorite Bravo celebrities.
Love it. Thank you, Megan, for coming on.
My pleasure.
This has been Grant's Rant Small Talk. Real Housewives of New York City Rundown. Want more? Join the full conversation on Grant's Rant Hollywood Talk podcast.